Hi guys, Carol here with Pretty Plate Events. Welcome back to my channel and I have something awesome to share with you today. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe and turn on the notifications bell for my next video. So let's get started. Today I'm sharing a awesome folio idea I got from the Paper Pouch Lady here on YouTube using dollar store items like you see here. I'm going to be using this awesome notepad, dollar store for $1.25, this calendar, $1.25, and I'm going to be using this brown Kraft paper. It's pretty sturdy, but I purchased this from Michael's because I don't have chipboard. And I'm also going to be using some printed papers that I created and printed myself in my Canva. So now that we have all the materials laid out, I'm going to get started by cutting my first sheet, which according to the Pouch Lady, it's supposed to be 7 inches by 4¼ inches. And keep in mind, guys, I am making this straight off the top of a do-it-yourself for the first time. I don't have any like prototypes to show, so I'm diving into this and trying it out because I was so infatuated with it. So I got my first two sheets cut for the jacket, and now I've added my 1-inch strip, and I'm going to go to the paper and we're going to flip this over and we're going to lay our, I guess, premature chipboard simulators on the back, and I'm going to do the process like I saw on her profile. Now, I want to say this. This is a prototype, and I'm just trying it out for the first time. She used a lot of tape for the backing, but I have to use my faithful glue stick, and we're just going to go through the process and see how this is going to come out. And I know it's probably going to warp because using glue sticks, paper has a tendency to warp. And even if it does, as it dries and cures, I do know that you can like reshape it and get it into its position. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to get this glue generously applied to my first sheet. And by the way, I'm using 8.5 by 11 sheets, and Sherri on the Paper Pouch Lady, she used 12 by 12 sheets. I just decided to use what I had to go ahead and get started with creating this prototype. But later on, after I get this down, I will decide what type of chipboard and sheets I am going to use, something like cardstock, so on and so forth. Okay, but as you see here, I laid down the 1-inch sheet and then the other 7-inch by 4¼ sheet. And now it's centered on this 8.5 by 11. It's a little wet, but I'm going to keep on moving because glue stick has a tendency to cure in place really fast. And I'm just going to go ahead on and trim around my edges. I'm doing this a little bit different than what she did, but you know, everybody has their own version. But I absolutely love the outcome of this project. And then the next step is to, of course, cut your corners like you see here. She did hers at an angle, but I'm just going to snip some little square chunks out on the edges and remove all 4 corners and get it prepared for the fold. and that is to fold the edges down on top of this heavy-duty simulated chipboard cardstock that I have here. And by the way, I found some tape, but I think I'm going to use it later because it's all I have. I didn't have enough to completely cover the backing for this, and those of you who are just joining, that's the reason why I'm using a glue stick. And I didn't want to use the Mod Podge because that's just a little too wet for me. Excuse my signal. Let me turn this on Do Not Disturb right quick so it won't mess with me again. And let's keep going. Okay, so I got the first couple of edges done. And I'm sorry I had to tune out there for a minute. And I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these folded over. And it's going pretty good from the process. And I think this is going to be really cool. So this is my first one that I am trying out. And look at that, it came out pretty good. Now I have to admit, guys, that she also used a spatula, and I don't have one. I have this knife, but I'm not going to put it in the creases because it will cut my paper. So I'm just going to use this extra piece from my cardstock and, you know, do my indentions in there. And I hope I mentioned that that is supposed to be 1/8 of an inch with the 1-inch strip in the middle. Okay, so now that I have all that done, I pre-cut my insert because there's an insert that goes on top of this, and you can put it on the board and you can measure it. But I had to cut that part out about the measuring and everything. But as long as it fits within the space of the allowed space like you see here, then you're good to go. But I had to cut that part out because I don't have enough room on my storage to add that video. So what I'm doing here is I'm kind of adding this sheet in like it is wallpaper. And because if you don't with the glue stick, you know the glue stick would dry out really quickly. And so I flipped my page up, applied more glue, and I am just going to smooth as I go. And it also keeps it in alignment. This works better for me, guys, than using the tape, because if I had tape all over the back of this, I would be fighting placing this to get it centered. The paper pouch lady is really good at this, and I am not. This is my first time, so I just wanted to share and show you guys my version. And now I'm taking my little scoring thing, and I'm using the back of it this time. Look at that. Look how that indentation is coming in. And when I tell you that this is just regular printing paper where I created these designs in Canva, but after getting it on this cardstock chipboard, the paper feels like wallpaper. It feels like cloth. And it feels really cool. Okay, so now we're going to move on, and we're going to do the procedure to install the weekly calendar that I bought at my local Dollar Tree. And this cover has a really good texture to it. And I'm not going to try and drape this too much. I just wanted to have the simulated look. And again, I'm going to be using my paper that matches the front, and I'm just folding it over, aligning my papers from the top and the bottom to fit the shape of the calendar. And then I'm going to cut off the excess. Yeah. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to double check the spine, make sure it doesn't poke through my paper, because this copy paper prototype that I'm using, it's a little thin. I usually buy this other paper that is a little printing paper that's a little thicker. So what I'm going to do is use my trusty glue stick again, and I'm going to apply, and I'm going to fold over, and I'm going to smooth, and I'm going to do the same to the back side of the paper. You didn't need to see that. It's the same procedure, and it's just a smooth effect. And now I'm going to cut away the excess and trim it to fit the cover of my book with some trusty scissors. I like to use my scissors to trim. If you want to use an X-Acto knife, you can do that, but using my scissors usually works for me. So now I'm just going to go on the inside, and I'm going to trim off some excess to do my fold. And yeah, I'm just going to trim off each side. And then I am going to, and it doesn't have to be perfect, because the next step after this is I am going to add an insert on top of this. I'm not going to leave this raw fold like that. So I'm going to use the other printed sheet to insert in here, but this is the finish. And it looks pretty good. It's still a little damp, but it's okay. Take your scissors and go back and clean up any imperfections that you may have and align your book. So now we're going to do the inserts. And I pre-cut these, and you can pre-cut and measure and do your insert the way you want. And it's pretty simple and easy. I'm just using my glue stick, and I'm going in and I'm covering up that fold and giving the inside of the book some beauty with the other printed paper complement. And you see how it wasn't aligned? I love the glue stick because you can pull it up and you can reposition. With the tape, me personally, you see how clumsy I am? I wouldn't be able to do that. And that wouldn't work for me. So the glue stick works for me, and if it dries out, guess what? You can go back and you can apply more, and it won't give a buildup. Because I really like the way this is turning out, and there you have it. I had to add a little bit more, and I apologize for all of this glue adding, but I want you to see how this works. And I'm going to go ahead and do the back part and do my insert and get that done. And the process is pretty simple, guys, and it's a lot of fun. And once you get it down, guess what? This will go smoothly. I have to actually say that all in all, with the taping of each step and putting this together and making sure that it was, done step by step for you guys to see in the video, this took me approximately 1 hour to make a book. I mean, to make a whole folio binder. It took an hour. So now I have taken the liberty of going ahead and doing the little notepad here, and it is complete. And it was, I don't know why that step got deleted, maybe because I didn't have enough room, but I cut a strip and added it to the top with some double-sided tape. I don't know why that step is not here. But my apologies for that, guys. I really wanted you to see that. I don't know why that's not there. Let me stop saying that and move on. Okay, so now I'm going to attach the notepad and the notebook to the inside of the jacket, the folio jacket. So this is my first process for the notepad, and I use some of the brown craft paper to give my paper some density and the ability for it to have something sturdy inside of the jacket folio to hold the the notepad in place. And what you're going to do is you're going to place it on the very back of the chipboard or attached to the notepad, and you're going to fold it over, leaving just a little bit of space off of each side so that the notepad can slide in and out, and you can get refills at any time. If you want to do your own refills, you're more than welcome to do that. If you want to purchase designer pre-designed refills from my website, you can do that as well. So either way, it's up to you. But what I love about this folio notebook idea is that it is refillable. You do not have to be stuck with a outdated calendar and a notepad that has been filled up and not have any way to refill it and keep going. So here you can see where I'm placing the holder, and I am securing it with my little score knife. I'm just using the back of it to make sure it stays down. And for this one, I use glue stick, but for the next one, I think I ended up using my double-sided tape. But when I get ready to really create my jackets, my folio jackets, I think I'm going to stick to one process to ensure that these insert holders are sturdy and will stay in place. Look at that. It came out really awesome. I love it. And now I'm going to do the insert holder for the calendar. And we're going to get this placed in. I've already pre-measured it, pre-cut. You can do yours whatever size you want, but I added a little tape to stop, like a stop point, so when I insert my book it won't go through to the back. And I also put double-sided tape on each end of this holder. And also, what the Posh Lady said is when you're inserting these holders and the books, make sure that the holder is about at least 1/8 of an inch from the fold line inside of the jacket. At least 1/8 of an inch, or you can bring it up as far as you, I would say at least 1/8 of an inch to be safe. I think that's what she said. If I'm wrong, please refer to her video and get the correct directions, because like I said, I am doing this just off the top of my head. This is the first one I made, never having done it before. Watched her video several times, wrote down the procedure, and thought I'd go in there and get what I had to work with, and there it is, a complete folio. I added a cute little ink pen, and I also made a second one to add it to it. So this is the before and this is the after. This makes a fabulous gift for holiday season. I hope you enjoyed my video in creating these beautiful folio notebooks. All the information will be in the description. I will see you next time on Pretty Plate Events, when it's time to create something pretty.